I had a conversation with Freddie Mac representatives that were there at Dallas, and they sort of like brushed it in the rug. But it's the classic case, Scott, and I think we saw this in 2010. And when you and I first met, is that the banks were still trying to catch on. I think at the beginning, right when the market crashed in '09, everybody was just approving short sales because they knew they had to get rid of that loss, right? When the market crashed in '09, everybody was just approving short sales because they knew they had to get rid of that loss, right? They could not pull that on their books for the asset. So they had to get rid of it. But then they started realizing all the fraud that was going on, the short sale flopping and stuff like that. So then they instituted, the Dodd-Frank and all that, and then that shored things up and it made it a lot more difficult with a lot more red tape. And I think that's what we're going through right now is there's so many new servicer delegated changes coming down the pipeline from these investors that we're hearing. And they're still fighting us on valuations because they still think, oh, well, our market up in DC, this is from Freddie, they were saying, our market up in DC and Baltimore, we're seeing great sellers markets. We're seeing sales appreciation. It should be that way in Bear County. And I'm like, no, that's not. We're actually seeing in certain areas up to almost 23% depreciation in the last
Wow,
two
yeah.
years. And they don't get it.